Brennan is in the kitchen trying to talk to Violet. Brennan is like, okay, I have to go. She doesn't wait. Once she leaves the kitchen, at the same time, he's nowhere. What she says is, he must have been in a hurry because I can't see him anywhere. Chapter 36 in Fort Wayne, Leon, when they are in Reason, he said, I swear to you, 1 second the plane was clear and the next they were just there. The rune the Brennan could be using is a mask rune.
Oh my goodness, it could be somebody totally different, but it's just a Brennan mask.
First was General Daramor, channeling all the power of the land, ruining the land. So the first was the Barons. Might explain why Andarna is the only one on her name. The parents, everything, all the dragons die, and the oldest dragon managed to grab the only egg.
I think you might be right.
Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Empyrean.
Join us as we started with this new season. We're going to start with Iron Flame.
You've read it!
Finally. So there's nothing in this book now that can surprise me.
No, and we can't wait to share our thoughts on chapters 1 to 4. We are diving head first into the revolution.
Oh, yes. So should we start straight away, chapter 1?
Yeah, let's do a quick recap, though. So, Violet woke up in Erasure.
Yes.
Having been mended by Brennan.
Oh,
Brennan!
Who
she thought was dead for the last 6 years. So that's how Fourth Wing left off. It might feel like a while ago now because you have read the entire book of Iron Flame. So, we'll start with the first chapter. Unsurprisingly, I want to start with the epigraph. So, in this, the 628th year of unification, it is hereby recorded that Erasure has been burned by dragon. In accordance with the treaty ending the separatist movement, those who fled survived, and those who did not remain entombed in her ruins.
Yes. This is something that I have in my notes as well, because I was really curious about the scribe who transcribed this epigraph.
Yeah.
Which name I think is called Cyrilla? Cyrilla, yes. Yeah. The pronunciation, I think is that.
Anyway, who knows with fantasy?
Yeah, it's just like a guess. But the thing that calls my attention is the family name. This Nilward. That's really similar to Yesenia Nailward. The only thing that it does is swap the two letters and it's completely different. But I was thinking, maybe could be related somehow, or could be this something to do with...
Did a scribe make a spelling mistake? I have to admit, I didn't notice the difference. I just assumed it was a relative of Yesenia.
Yes.
So it's spelled differently.
Yes. So you see the Cyrilla is N-I, for Yesenia is N-E-I. So it's just the E and I, the change in both.
Huh. Well, I'm forever making those types of spelling mistakes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was curious. Could be this a mistake? Could be something related to Yesenia, or Yesenia change name for some reason? But yeah, it's something that is really curious.
It's odd, isn't it? Because it is only 6 years ago. It's not even 628 years ago.
Yeah, it's not something that evolution of the name. Something recently.
How strange. Editing error? Maybe?
I will be surprised because the scribes always are so...
No, I mean an actual
from the publisher.
Editing error.
So it's not a scribe edition or error. It's from...
I don't know.
What is the publisher? Pitacos, I think it's called?
I know they're different in every...
Yeah, well, at least in the UK, it's Pitacos. Something like that.
I've never heard of that. Anyway, so about the epigraph, they genuinely believe that they fled, the townsfolk fled, but we find out a bit later that we're covering in one of the other chapters that they didn't actually, they just hid in a cave. And so the Navarians, the king of Navarre, just believes Erasure is ruined.
Yes.
And then not checking at all feels a little bit odd, doesn't it?
I think maybe it's just the distance. There's no telephone, or at least no.
I think it's more than that.
Telephones,
I think it's runes.
Yeah.
I think the runes are protecting it from, are kind of masking it and perhaps making it still look burned or something. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, that maybe is all mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
So they mentioned that Melgren can't see it because of the marked ones as well. But I find that a bit far-fetched because most of the marked ones are either being fostered by other families, so they're not necessarily in Tyrrendor, and the other ones are in the Riders Quadrant. So you've got some people left over from the revolution, from Fen Ryerson's revolution.
Yes.
Like Felix and Suri and the people we're going to meet later. But they're not marked. So Melgren could see, but also Melgren only sees the outcomes of battles, doesn't he? So I thought it was a weird remark that they say that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I have on the epigraph. But it is quite a juicy one because it shows that Navarre doesn't actually have a clue what's going on there.
Yeah. To be honest, there's something that I had not perfectly clear. It's like Aretia was destroyed or kind of destroyed, and because it's more built with rocks, the fire didn't affect it that much. Because I think it says at some point the rock can be burned or something like this. So actually the dragon, they were trying to destroy the whole thing and didn't work. Or it was just oh yeah, we're going to pretend, or not even done. Because he said they're building, rebuilding. So kind of giving the impression that it was destroyed at some point, or at least semi-destroyed.
So I think the city was destroyed. It was burned to the ground. But I have a theory that Ryerson House is protected by runes. Because as she's walking, it is in this chapter, it's just a little bit later on in this chapter, but so she's walking through Ryerson House and she spots a load of things. She spots dozens of small windows that provide the only decoration and a 5-story wall above the massive doors of the fortress. So this is the entrance hall. Mm-hmm. They seem to make a pattern, but she's too close to see the whole of it. We never find anything more about that, but I think the windows are in the shape of a rune, and that's what's protecting it, because we find out later that it's never been breached, and that's another epigraph, I think. So we'll cover that later, but I do have a theory that it's protected by runes, and that's why it's never been breached, and that perhaps it won't ever be breached, or...
Yeah.
We're going to cover all spoilers, I think. So if you haven't listened to Iron Flame, I'm not really sure why you're listening, but come back once you've read it. And it could possibly be breached from within now. So, well, we know that Xaden turned Venin. So is he going to breach it from... Do Venin have unfettered access to Ryerson House for the first time? Because Xaden is a Venin.
I'm not sure about it, to be honest, but I guess it's something that we have to wait and see in our next storm before we have more clarification about Ryerson House and how it works.
Yes.
Okay, so should we start with the beginning? So, right in the beginning, there's something that caught my attention straight away. It made me even go later on to Fourth Wind to read a couple of things. So the scene that I'm talking about is Brennan is in the kitchen trying to talk to Violet. She's sitting and she's still in shock that Brennan is in front of her. So she's just thinking that he looks different, but at the same time it's the same. So it's just a few things that is different, but the feeling still there is Brennan. So Buddy goes to the kitchen giving some letter. There's something important happening. So Brennan is okay, I have to go. I'll see you later. So he leaves the room, and she doesn't wait, not even a second. She just, when he goes to the door, she goes straight away to see him. She wants to talk to him. But once she leaves the kitchen, at the same time, he's nowhere. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And what she says is, he must have been in a hurry because I can't see him anywhere. So I was like, okay, does this mean that he's just like really fast and this meeting is really important? Or the fact that he's not there, maybe some unnatural way, something is here going on?
Something's going on with Brennan. Well, we've already talked in the last series, we'd already talked about my theory that Brennan isn't alive and he's reanimated.
Yes.
So you're saying he can disappear and reappear?
Yes, but in the beginning, I thought, okay, it can't be a second signet because he doesn't have anything. So he's not like, how you call it? We
don't know that he doesn't have anything.
Well, at this point, there's no clue, so there's nothing
no hint that he would.
Yes, have. I guess we can't say 100% now, but at the same time, there's nothing to tell us that he.
But it kind of makes you feel like he's some kind of ghost, doesn't it?
Well, kind of. Until I went to chapter 36 in Fort Wayne, and then there's a sentence by Liam when they are in prison. And he's looking what's going on in prison. And then he said, I swear to you, 1 second the plane was clear and the next they were just there.
Yeah.
So for
me, Venins can kind of...
Yeah, there's maybe a short and distance.
I don't know the word.
Can teletransport or...
Distance wield maybe is what it's called. In Harry Potter, obviously, it's apparition. Yes. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, or later on in the series, it's called winnowing.
Yeah.
But, something odd. And we are very sus. We are suspicious. We think Brennan is sus. We're not sus. Brennan is sus. We think something's going on with Brennan.
Yes.
So, when will we get more information?
I'm expecting the Onyx Stone is going to be all about the Venin, how they, like the structure, how they work,
the
how
hive
many people.
Mind.
Yes, like where they go when they're not attacking. They must, because they're being trained, basically. There's a general that's training this Venin, and then doing so. They even Brennan at some point says that they don't act that way. So it's like somebody's training them. So I'm expecting that we're going to see a little bit more of that on the wall and start to see how they work.
I flip-flop between this Brennan thing because there's so many things that make me think he's Brennan, but he's not Brennan. There's a few here. He says something like Brennan may as well be Violet says something like Brennan may as well be a stranger. Is he a stranger? Then she says he's somehow exactly the same as I remember and yet different. She talks a lot about his resemblance to Daddy Sorrengail. If there wasn't a timeline proving it wrong, could be some reincarnated Daddy Sorrengail, but he came back before. I guess there's a few things that do make me think Brennan must either be an incredible actor or an incredible shield. And we know that if you want to use your power, you have to lower your shields. And we know that Xaden has been in his presence when he's using his signet. So he mended Violet. Unless Xaden was so stressed and worried that he didn't use his intrinsic ability at least once in those 3 years, because Xaden's only been bonded since 3 years ago. If he didn't use that intrinsic signet once against Brennan to know if he could trust him, I would be incredibly surprised. So the fact that Xaden can know intentions and Brennan doesn't know that, how has he got? If Brennan is bad, how has he got that past Xaden?
I was thinking exactly the same. That if there's going to say Brennan is a Venin, because that's like what I'm thinking right now. Just because the center, he just disappeared. So why is that? So it could be, yes, that the meeting was really important. It has to go really, really fast. But for me, it's kind of like suspicious and the way that it's been dropped.
It is, but I don't agree with you.
For me, the thing that it gives like strength to this theory as well is what happens in chapter after this when they are alone and they start to talking, and then Violet sees something in the hand.
Yes, but she doesn't see anything in his eye. We're going to have to fight about this.
That's something that I need to do more details.
Rims.
No, but the rune, the Brennan could be used as a mask rune.
Oh,
and
yeah,
this
it could be.
Could be something to protect.
Oh my goodness, it could be somebody totally different, but it's just a Brennan mask.
It could be. I mean, something that I was thinking as well, like, is it possible it could be Nolan? There may be absurd
I just
Brennan
think 10 would know. 10 would know. Well, maybe not, because we know that Jack Barlow severs the bond with Bade.
Yes, once there are no connection, that's it.
So what you're saying is that rune...
I think that rune that he Brennan's had is to mask. But the thing is, for this story, what is taking me is I start to think that maybe he's a Venin and he is the one who is...
But he's not Brennan. He's just pretending to be Brennan.
I don't know if I saw bad Brennan, like maybe when he was reanimated, and then somehow he was dragging the power as well. He turned into a Venin. And I think there's a epigraph when he's talking about the power as well. The one you feel the rush, you feel the power, then you are addicted to that.
Oh, I don't know. So that masking rune then must mask Xaden's intrinsic ability.
I'm thinking that it can mask any kind of sickness or any kind of vision as well.
Okay.
So this person, whatever he is fake. And that is one of the reasons. I'm
gonna push you on it because I like this theory. He doesn't hide the rune. He puts his hands up to surrender. Like, I can't remember.
When Violet was asking so many questions at the time.
Yeah.
He was like, whoa, like one at a time.
So does that mean Xaden's never seen that rune? Xaden is a rune dictionary.
Yes.
He knows everything. I mean, he gave Violet a book of knots. He knows a lot of runes. So would he not have seen that and thought, oh, that's a bit suspicious. He's got a masking rune on his hand. I wonder what he's trying to hide.
That's going to be another secret. Yeah, I guess we will find out later on with Zeta, because you never know. Even by the end of Iron Flame, he's still coming with stuff that you don't know what he means. Like stuff that, what? It's more like secrets that he's holding. So
I actually really like that theory about the rune. We haven't even got to that point. This podcast is going to be so long because now you've read it. At least, like, we're just gonna. So there's several theories. We shared the one around reanimated Wyvern.
Yes,
Brennan already, but I really like yours. I guess the only other thing that is. There's a couple of things, worth saying about him. Aeserai means resurrected.
Yes.
So he's taken on a new name, and it means resurrected, which is fitting. And I've got loads to say on this in this 4 chapters, but this is the first instance where it just reminds me that Ten knows more than he's telling Violet.
Yes.
And he said he wouldn't hide anything from her since she found out about Venin and Ten knew.
Yes.
But he's keeping a lot to himself unless he fled. So Naylan died, in inverted commas.
Yes.
Wink, wink. Then he must have fled before Brennan woke up on that side of the hill.
And where is Nolan's body? Because he has to be next to Brennan for this to happen. There's no mention about it. Like, he got burned over there or what happened. And what I think is that when everything happens, Tern wasn't present. So maybe he was just holding like the connection. They were talking. And then maybe when Tern started to feel the Nerlin was channeling directly from the souls, he took us, maybe he was like a traitor. Or because the dragons don't like when they channel directly with the crown.
Yeah.
So, and then if he channeled that much, because I'm still learning as well how is the process from Venin. Because, like for example, with Jack Barlow, it's like with the eyes and then like little by little.
Yeah, the more
physically it starts to change. The more you channel.
Yeah.
But we're talking about he was taking Brennan back to life. That's not something simple. That's something that requires a lot of power, a lot of energy. So I'm thinking that where he was draining all the power, he turned instantly in a full Venin.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards the theory that, and this is not my theory. I've shared it. We've already shared it on Instagram and TikTok, but it's not out. It's not my theory. But I'm leaning towards the theory that Nayland died and became a god.
Yes.
If you jump back to Kaori's quote in Fourth Wing around bringing somebody back from the dead, it makes you a god. Both Brennan and Tern specifically state that Nayland died. So Brennan says he died. Tern said, I will not watch another rider die.
Actually, what Brennan says that, yes, he didn't fail, but it cost everything.
He also mentions that he died. I don't have the quote, but he definitely says it.
That he died.
Yeah.
Because from Tern, I can understand that if he wasn't present and then he started channeling, and he turned into a Venin, a human that could the connection with him, and then Tern could think that he's dead because he can't feel it anymore. But with Brennan, the only thing that I saw was in the second chapter actually, when they're talking, and he said that Nayland lost everything.
Yeah, he says it there, but he definitely says he died.
Mm-hmm.
I have highlighted it in my Kindle, but I can't get it now. It'll take me ages.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm leaning towards the god theory. I think he knocked Malak off his throne. I think he's Malak. I think Tern later mentions Malak, and while he doesn't pay any attention to our puny gods, it sounds like that's an attitude, and he thinks Nayland's puny because he chose that over life. Yeah. Anyway, I'm leaning to the Nayland as a god theory, but I do get, like, for months and months and months since I read Iron Flame for the first time, or Fourth Wing for the first time, I was on the Brennan is a reanimated wyvern theory, and I thought that since Mira and Violet, the main character, find an onyx rune inside a wyvern.
I was thinking the same, because when there were no explanations about why Brennan is alive, I thought before I started reading Iron Flame, yes, it makes sense that he's a wyvern. The Nayland channel the power given life, but as a wyvern. So I was thinking, okay, maybe Nayland is going to be the Venin, the general, who is running everything. Because since then, they are like more organized and this kind of stuff. And then eventually Nayland has to die, or Violet has to kill it, and then Brennan will die. Like the pressure. But now, because of this, I started thinking, what about if Brennan is the one who's running all the underworld business, because that will be like the massive turn in the story. So
I really like your theory, but I'm gonna have egg on my face if this doesn't come true, but I am 100% certain that the leader of the Venin is General Daramor from 600 years ago, and he's still alive. And I can talk a bit more about that later. So Bodhi came in, and you mentioned this already.
Yes.
He had a note from another rider at Basgiath. Who do you think that other rider was?
Good question.
We never find out. No. Is it someone in the Forge? Is it Professor De Vera? Because we know that she's good, but I don't I don't think Xaden does. So who is that other rider?
No, it really has to be somebody that's really in the circle that trust, because it's somebody that knows that they are there and
But are they
still
posted?
give a message. Yeah.
They're posted up as guys. So, do you know I had a crackpot theory just this second?
Really?
Could it have been Lilith Sorrengail? But obviously she didn't know she was writing to Brennan. She knew she was writing to Aes Sedai. She knows where they are. She
Yes.
said, "Do you think I didn't know where my children are?"
Yeah, I said Brennan.
Yeah,
She
obviously
didn't
she didn't. But she has been communicating, I think, with the revolution. She's doing something. She's playing the long game.
Yeah, I was like from the beginning. I was convinced that she was kind of like another Satan, that she was just full of secrets, and the stuff that she was doing it is because she had reasons for everything.
Yeah.
So when I was like, okay, why she decided Violet has to go to the writer just 6 months before? That doesn't make sense unless there's something that she knows, and she actually is trying to protect Violet. And yes, after reading all the Iron Flame, it was like, yeah, she knew that everything was happening for a reason, and she was trying to help her way as well.
Yeah, we just don't know who that other rider is, and it could be her, could be anyone really, but we don't find out in this book, which maybe it's not important, or maybe it is, and it'll come back. I just want to mention again, because I'm obsessed with this, Bodhi is Xaden's brother. He is not his cousin. He's his brother.
Half brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of times they still mention how much resembles there's between Bodhi and Satan. So I'm thinking the same. There has to be a specific reason for that, because I don't look like any of my cousins. So, same as you.
No, I don't look like
So,
anyone doesn't.
I don't think being a cousin is a reason for being so similar.
No,
That's
I don't
more
either.
like brothers.
Suspicious. So I want to talk a bit more about Ryerson House.
Yes.
Or do you have anything else to say on that?
Nothing else about Ryerson House.
So there's a massive foyer. There's 2 other wings to the left and the right. The palace is astounding, half palace, half home, but entirely a fortress, which is why it's never been breached. Such a contrast with the Palace of Corden. So the thick stone walls are what saved it from its supposed demise 6 years ago. And it says, from what I've heard, so Violet said, from what I've heard, Ryerson House has never been breached by any army, even during the 3 sieges I know of. And again, yeah, I just think there's something she's mentioned, or that's been mentioned several times. Either it's about to be breached, maybe, like I said, from within, or it still won't ever be breached because of the runes or the protective runes. Something else about Ryerson House. There is an authentic Poromish tapestry hanging across the hall from where Bodhi and Imogen stand outside the assembly room.
Yes.
What is a Poromish tapestry doing there? Was Xaden's mum from Poromil? Did she help decorate Ryerson House and it's still been there? It shows, regardless, it shows there's longer ties, or there's been ties between Poromil and Ryerson House. Because you wouldn't hang an enemy tapestry in your house, would you?
True.
Most people wouldn't. I mean, if it looked nice, I probably would. But it makes me feel like there's a hidden link between Poromil and the Ryerson family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if because they're still fighting against the Venin, they're still part of the revolution, and they need to make alliance with different regions because they're still fighting together.
Maybe it was a gift.
Yeah.
It was a gift from
trade between
Takaris.
2 provinces. Yeah.
Maybe it could have been a gift. Yeah. I immediately kind of jumped to Xaden's mum and thought maybe she'd decorated.
Could be, because we don't have that much information about her at the moment.
No, exactly. We will get there, though.
Yeah.
So Bodhi and Imogen are waiting outside of the assembly meeting. The door's wide open. Assembly meetings are open to anyone who wants to hear.
Yeah.
It feels odd, but it's obviously just a nod to the fact that you're not in the revolution if you're not trusted.
Yeah.
So they just trust everyone that's there. But it still carries on later on in the book.
Yeah.
When there's so many.
I think this is just a way to say that we are not the same as the people from Basgiath. We are open. We are not keeping any secrets. So it's just trying to do the opposite of the other people are doing. Because one of the books that I'm writing, one of my characters had that thing as well. He's doing exactly the opposite of the other person that he feels as the villain. So I think they are doing exactly that. They're like, okay, we are different, so we have to act different. Which is ironically because then when they find out that they're going to be in trouble, in Basgiath, they will say, oh, well, they're the problem. So they start doing exactly the same.
Yeah, but there's a reason.
Yeah, I mean, like that was like the first like impression.
Yeah.
But later on, they come like good reason for not to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So there's a number of people in the revolution.
Yeah.
Did you find anyone suspicious? Did you find anyone interesting?
Yes, there's a woman. They called my attention for two reasons. I'm talking about, I think it's called Suri.
Ooh, she's a bitch.
Yeah, but first thing, she has a piece of her hair, there's silver as well. There's kind of like violet. Why?
She knows why Violet's hair is silver. She's got to. She's got to be the key to that, hasn't she?
I think there's something about it because multiple times she was staring at Violet's hair and Violet said that this woman looks scared. And then there was even a couple of times when she was saying that, no, we can't trust her. And she was like pushing away. So obviously she's scared of Violet or she doesn't like Violet, like keeping close. And
I think she's associating the silver hair with Venin because something will have happened to her that made her hair silver, and it must have involved a Venin because you talk about them draining the colour from things.
Yeah, but then in that case, Violet will be like another victim, isn't it? Why she's scared?
Perhaps
it's
not. Yeah, it's a good question. A really good question.
I mean, if the reason the Violet's half hair is because the Venin, maybe they drain the color and whatever, she will be a victim. But it's sort of like she knows something about it and she's scared because she has just like a little bit of dark gray hair. Violet has half. Doesn't mean something.
Oh.
Like it's something about power or link.
Some venin you have in you. Yeah, maybe actually it means the more powerful you are. But I just had a thought about whether it was like part venin. And she knows she's got a little bit in her.
Yeah, and maybe
and Violet has
half.
More.
That could be another theory. Maybe Violet's half venin.
My mum thinks that she's immune to veninness. She won't be able to. She won't turn venin, but she can still channel from the ground and from the sky.
Yeah.
Because sometimes lightning comes from the ground. That's what Felix said.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that point. See, this is the problem. We just carry on talking and carry on talking. She does appear to be scared of Violet. I'm interested in what's with the giant emerald ring.
Yes.
Why would you mention it if it wasn't important and then it doesn't get mentioned again? Will it come back in another book?
I hope so, because nothing by mistake.
Yeah, it feels like an odd thing to draw attention to, a giant emerald ring.
Yes, I don't know if it's kind of like another rune or something.
Yeah, possibly.
But maybe we'll find out later on. But yeah, definitely something about it. Like the way that she looks at Violet is really suspicious. And I think I'll mention after that. So hopefully in our next storm we'll find out as well.
Yeah.
And so far, that's what I got from the chapter. One thing about this book is that the chapters are really short
They
in
are quite
comparison to the
short,
other
aren't they?
ones. Yes. So you can go through them like really easily. But still, some sentences just give you so many questions and then you just stick to that.
Yeah. And you can get into such, like, yesterday when I was doing some podcast prep, I got into such a, like a weird thing where I felt like a detective. I was translating things into Scottish Gaelic, or from Scottish Gaelic into English. I was using Spanish because things jumped out at me. I was like linking dots, and we need a room in our house to just have all the
something
sticky
that
notes.
I was thinking as well that I would like to do. I would like to get the Spanish version and read it, because like in the maps are different, the both language. And something that for me is personally, I know by experience, when you're translating to both English and Spanish, you can't use exactly the same words. You have to use something else. So I'm thinking that maybe if I read it in Spanish, I'm going to find clues.
We
that I'm not
literally
going to find.
just got back from Spain and we didn't buy it. And now you tell me you want to read it.
Paperback wasn't there. It was just
They haven't. I don't think
hardback.
they've released a paperback in Spain yet.
Yeah, well,
Depends on
I
the
don't know
publisher.
if you can get them like here from eBay or something. But I think it would be interesting because just with the name of the dragon, Rebecca Yarros is given clues, even when it's supposed to be like random or just really cool names.
It's not random, is it?
But yeah, that is weird. That maybe some of the name of the dragons pretty much is describing the sickness of the rider.
Yeah.
So that's like the one thing. And that's a Scottish Gaelic, but you don't know if maybe she's using other language or the.
Oh yeah, but when you use Google Translate, it says when you put a word in and it doesn't directly translate it, it says translate from, and it detects a language that it does actually have a meaning in.
Yes.
So that's quite clever. So chapter 2.
Okay, chapter 2.
Epigraph.
I had the epigraph as well. But the thing that caught my attention was, what it said, the valley above the Ryerson house was the original hatching ground of the Dunbarton line, called an entire descent from this line. Mm-hmm. So obviously, Ryerson house, or at least the area where Ryerson house is really important, because I would say that maybe it holds a lot of magic, or used to have a lot of magic. Mm-hmm. And I think this is something that has been proved when all the new cadets goes there and the new dragons stand born in this area.
Yeah.
Because I think this magic is still there.
Yeah.
Which made me think, okay, is the Ryerson house there precisely because there was like this present...
Hatching ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say so. I think around the hatching grounds of the original 6 or the 6 clans of dragons would definitely, people would gravitate towards them, especially once bonded, to protect them.
Yes.
And can I just say, I really want to get my hands on Colonel Kaori's Field Guide to Dragonkind. Oh my god, I'd love to read that book.
Yeah. Just go to his desk, it's gonna be there.
I just leave it lying around. I could just steal his notebook on.
Yeah, I just wait for him go to the toilet. Probably it's gonna be
yeah, just laying around.
Behind.
I would love Rebecca Yarros to do
like a proper guy.
Yeah, like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Quidditch Through the Ages for charity. They were made.
Yes.
Just little versions of the books. Oh my god! If I could get my hands on any fictional book, it would be Colonel Kaori's Field Guide to Dragonkind. Secondly, Coda is definitely a good dragon, and he will do something to protect Erasure at some point, because that's his original ancestral hatching ground. I'm sure he will come to the rescue.
Yes. I mean, I think for Coda, the most important thing is Dragonkind. And obviously, this ground is really important for Dragonkind as well, and more his descent from this place. So I think maybe eventually will come maybe a time when Coda might have to face Melgren
Yeah, I think so too.
And destroy it. Or something.
I think potentially part of the reason why Ryerson House didn't get burned down was because Coda was responsible for it, and he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. But something's going on with Coda. We know that he lets Violet talk to him later on, and I just have a feeling Coda is going to come to the rescue if the hatching grounds above Ryerson House are breached at any point or compromised. Chapter 2 is when we get to hear a bit more about Brennan.
Yes. I was expecting maybe a little bit more details, but obviously the author don't want to give everything in just one go. Mm-hmm. But yes, first thing caught my attention is the rune-shaped scar in his palm. So that the thing they start to give strength to my new theory. And then when they were talking, he said it was Nalin. He was. And Violet interrupts. But you know that when I read Fourth Wing and we're talking about the Nalin trying to bring it back from the dead, so I was like, there must be a good reason for this person to risk his life. So I was thinking maybe Brennan knew something or something that was so important that it's worth to risk the life. But then in the way the Violet described Brennan and then Brennan how it is, it's like, well, this looks more like another case when somebody turned or channeling the ground for love.
Yeah.
So I think there's more of this again. And then Tern is the one who says, and this is funny because we're talking about the way how we perceive like the sentence or the specific scenes. And for me, Tern says kind of like angry or annoying. Like we don't talk about the previous writer because
you read that as angry. I read that as hurt. Like he's still hurt. Mm-hmm. And not just because of the death. Maybe he's hurt because he turned Venin. I think Brennan and Naelin were in love. And Tern would know this. He knows exactly how Naelin felt. He knows exactly how Violet felt. And he knows why he made whatever choice he made to bring Brennan back, if that's what he did. I just feel like Tern is hiding something more. He definitely knows more. So this is where he says Naelin didn't fail, but it cost him everything. Brennan woke up on a cliffside not far from Erasure. Marb, which means death in Scottish Gaelic, which has like a bit of an omen if you bond a dragon called Death. Anyway, Marb was wounded. He says he woke up on a cliffside not far from Erasure, and I think that was the cliffside that the Flyers later walk up, because Brennan knows an awful lot about that cliffside, doesn't he?
Yes.
I think that's the cliffside he woke up on. Marb was alive too, and the other dragons, there are other dragons there, and they saved them. I wasn't sure who the other dragons were, but I presumed it was like Felix and Suri and those people.
Yeah.
He hid him in a network of caves. I believe these were potentially the caves that Solus, Varish's dragon, is hiding in later. So how did Solus know about these caves? Is it because of the Venin hive mind? Because I 100% believe, again, that Varish was a Venin.
Okay.
So Solus potentially knew about those because maybe Naelin knew. And I don't know where. I'm leaning towards Naelin being a god, but I just loved the Naelin Venin theory.
Yes.
So yeah, those are the things we learn about Brennan. But I think we get a bit of a clue as to why he's so acquainted with the cliffside, why then a little bit of a link between Solus hiding out in the caves around Erasure. But yeah, we've already talked about the rune-shaped scar. I love your theory about that being a mask.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Even though
do more investigations just to see if is it possible, or we'll go to the. No, it won't be.
Yeah. Some civilians survived the city. In his story, it talks about some civilians surviving the city being torched. If you go back to the epigraph in chapter 1, it says only those who fled survived. But that's not the case. Some were hiding out in caves.
In the caves, yes.
So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. Do you have anything more to say on Brennan? Because I've got the mother of all theories about the Barons.
No, the only thing that happens here, it was interesting for me, was the iron box that Carripan and Risa was lured, and they destroy it. But the craftsmanship is Neverian, which is like, okay, so obviously there was a trap for bringing all the Venins, which it was a little bit like disappointing, I think, because I was expecting they were going to find like some dark secret or something like really cool, because they just leave it open and Fort Wayne in the end they were still investigating. Like, oh my god, I want to know.
But you still don't know like why it was made, who put it there. It's I think it was Dane's dad that arranged for it to be put there, but how does he know what would lure a Venin? What is it that lures a Venin? And I have a bit of a theory. I don't know, this is different. I think it might be something to do with love, and this might sound really soppy, and but General Daramor in Spanish is to give love.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what they feed on? Because they go after Zayd and they go... Anyway, right. So, we learn a bit about the Barons. My theory is that General Daramor... And this is what I got obsessed with yesterday.
Yes.
Is he... So, he was around at the same time as the first 6.
Yes.
And we learn a little bit about him from epigraphs in other parts. I feel like he might have been a 7th rider during the Great War. And it says something about the Barons being the desert area that all dragonkind abandoned after General Daramor ruined the land during the Great War. That's a 7th area. I think that might have been Andarna's hatching ground. I think she comes from the Barons, and she left, and maybe her mum or dad carried the egg to Navarre because the dragonkind abandoned it. But then the dragon, obviously something happened to her mum and dad, and they got wiped out. But it links to the dreams later in the book where the general says he's waited centuries for somebody with Violet's power. And Anna's waited centuries as well. And there's something about that link that makes me feel like General Daramor was potentially a 7th rider bonded to either one of Andarna's parents.
Yes.
I also think Daramor potentially could have turned Venin to save Lyra. You know Lyra, who is
one of the first
6. I could be totally wrong about this because it came to me yesterday. But I think she was saying something like, we got the wards up, but it cost me everything. And this is where we're talking about it cost me everything. The same with Naelin. Was she in love with General Daramor? And getting the wards up banished him to the Barons, and everything he's done since has been in the name of Lyra. And I don't know, I need to think a little bit more. But there's more to come out of Lyra's journal.
Yes.
And I think Jacinia perhaps already knows it, but she's the only one who can translate it.
Yeah.
So she is busy translating Lyra's journal right up until the end battle. There must be things in there, and I think we're going to learn about Daramor. The one other thing that I forgot to mention that potentially links him to Andarna, and this was me in Google Translate yesterday, with Dara and Mor and I'm probably butchering those in Scottish Gaelic. I don't know how to pronounce Scottish Gaelic. But Dara means second and Mor means great. So Andarna means second honour. So you've got second great and second honour. And there's something linking Andarna and General Daramor. And Daramor and Andarna doesn't even sound that different. So, yeah. It's a bit of a patchy theory at the moment, but General Daramor was a seventh rider and the Barons was Andarna's hatching ground. Daramor turned Venin to save Lyra. Don't know. Maybe I need to go away and do some more homework.
Yeah. I mean, I need to study the timeline when everything started, because I had understood the first was General Daramor, the one who was channeling all the power of the land, ruining the land. So the first was the Barons. That might explain why Andarna is the only one on her Dane. So maybe the parents, everything, all the dragons die, and the oldest dragon managed to grab the only egg and take him to Basgiath.
That's sad. Yeah, that could have happened.
And because this general was so powerful, this is what I heard. You can correct me.
He killed all the dragons.
Yeah, he was stealing the power from the dragons and getting directly from the source. So the one, maybe, I don't know if each dragon is connected to the source, and then because a new dragon, there's like less power maybe. So maybe he just wants to get rid of the dragons so he can have the power for himself.
He wiped them all out in the Barons, but one survived.
Yes, so I think that. But what I think is when this was happening,
Finish first.
Okay, when this was happening, there was no riders. And then because he was so powerful, the dragons and the humans, they were forced to have an alliance, and there was when the first six were created, the first six riders, to fight against General Daramor.
Yeah, I do think you're right, but I don't. It wasn't necessarily Daramor, so it could have been that they were all draining, and then he was a rider at the time, but he realized he couldn't do something, so he had to take more power, and he became. But yeah, I think you might be right, and it fits like Andarna and Violet together as well, because Daramor's draining the land, killing all the dragons, potentially damaging the magic of the egg, which means that Andarna has some development challenges later, and it doesn't necessarily mean that she only gets those just because of the magic that she's using to stop time to save Violet all the time. It could have been that those things were set in motion hundreds of years ago when he was draining the land. Also potentially fits with Violet having some challenges in that something happened to Lilith when she was pregnant. She got partially drained.
Yeah.
And so perhaps there's a link there, and that's what ties. But I think that's really good. So like, summarize. The Barons is the hatching ground of Andarna's line.
Yeah, the seventh.
The seventh dragon breed. Yes. The reason there's none of them is because Daramor drained the land and killed them all, but somehow that one egg survived. Yes. I love this. I still have a feeling that Daramor is linked to Lyra, but you've convinced me that.
I don't know because it could happen like before, because it has to be like an origin. And so far, when we start to see a little bit that it's really easy turn into a venom for love.
Yeah.
Because it happened with Seidan. Could be this the reason that Narlin tried to save, because the thing they pushed the theory about Narlin turning into a venom is because when Seidan was fighting against this general, he was feeling weak. He was feeling that I had enough. And when he started channeling, he was like, oh my God, I feel so much power that I don't feel tired anymore. That I feel like he can go forever,
like an
basically.
energy drink.
Yes. So I think that's exactly why Nalin did, because he was burning out channeling and directly from the dragon. But when he started doing it directly from the source, then he had much more power. And I think maybe something happened, could be like between this General Daramor and Lily, could be. And then he turned into a Venin because of this. So it could be like Lyra, sorry. Your theory could be like before he turned into a Venin, and then once he turned into a Venin, it was just too late. They need to get rid of him.
Do you think maybe something was going on between... He was in love with Lyra, but Lyra is like a weird love triangle. Warwick was in love with Lyra, and Daramor didn't like it, and he went a little bit crazy enough to like drain the barons, kill all the seventh den dragons. And I think that's another hill I'm willing to die on, though, is that Andarna is from the barons.
Yeah, for me, it makes sense because she's the only one. So why is the only one? Because the land where she came from is not there anymore. It's all destroyed.
And they called it the 6 and the 1. And I know that that's Warwick's feeble attempt at trying to be a bit vague on the instructions of the wards. But was it specifically that one because she was unbonded, or because it was the one that was supposed to be with Daramor, or they detached that particular den, the 7th den, because it was associated to the barons and they didn't want to?
Or maybe just because there was no more dragons. Maybe they were lucky they just get one dragon left. Maybe it wasn't their mom or father. They had to create the walls, and then when this dragon passed away, they knew that there's no way to get another wall because they don't have 7 dragons anymore. They have just 6. And maybe that's why they changed the transcription later on. That it was not 7 anymore, it was 6. They used 6 dragons. Like basically all the dragons. No,
Warwick was hiding it. We definitely find that out later in the book. So we need to go away and have a look again at the timeline early on. And Bookish is Better, Carly, on Instagram, has really, really helpfully done an amazing carousel of the timeline. So we should definitely use that as a bit of a reference. But there's something that makes me kind of think, well, if one brother had the power of the sky, because they weren't the first 6 that bonded. They weren't the first ones that bonded with dragons. They were just the only ones that survived. Yeah. So they say that, don't they? So that's what makes me think that, because you had the brothers, that one was, and maybe this is just the creation fable, you had one that was connected to the sky, one that was connected to griffins. So griffins, dragons, and then you had Venin. That happened, or that all happened before the 6. So I don't think that the Venin and the dragons were definitely mutually. I don't think one particularly came before the other. I think it just became an issue, and perhaps the destruction of the den, Andarna's the 7th den, was what triggered them to need to create the wards, not to just get rid of not to get rid of Daramor, but just to protect the other 6 dens, because they just could not afford to lose another den.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think there's something more that we're missing. It's not just about... we need to check out the timeline again. Let's go away and do some more homework. for next time. But something killed off the Venin 600 years ago, and Brennan says that.
Yes.
And we are actively searching for that weapon. Violet's the weapon. 100%. She's got to be.
Yes. Yeah, the other thing that caught my attention when they were talking, and I think this is when they're like looking at the map as well. The Brennan is the one who says they had never seen them organized behind a leader like they did in Reason, and that one go away. It was the sage. So obviously now maybe there's a Burning World School somewhere. They're doing stuff. They're being more accurate in their attacks. So they're not being like randomly attacking like they used to be before. And this is Brennan talking, I think, since 6 years when everything happened with the apostasy.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking as well, though, maybe it's because Nelan, he was a soldier and then turned into a Venin, he was recruiting and making more Venins and this kind of stuff.
Are they learning from Colonel Atos?
I don't know if Atos is like helping or he's maybe taking advantage. Maybe he knows so much about Venin that he knows like how to bring like what happened in Reason. He knows what the Venin were looking for.
Yeah.
And he just used them to do whatever he wants.
I do think it's a bit of bonkers, though, that they, after 600 years, that's the first time they're able to organise behind a leader. Like, what the hell have they been doing for 600 years? So it's like walking around like zombies.
Yeah, it seems like. It's just like apparently randomly destroying everything or just getting more power. But apparently now they are kind of like an army because they have like ranks and they have better organization. That's the thing that caught my attention. That after so many years now, it's like they're doing things better, and it's why.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, also it says the rate of Venin expansion seems to have increased in the last year alone. And I was thinking, what has happened in the last year that could have driven this? The main thing that's happened in the past year that could have driven it is that Violet got her power. And that General Daramor is now after her, specifically after her.
Yes, there's been a couple of times where every single Venin is saying that you are exactly what we're looking for, and the sage is going to be so happy, or they just want to grab him alive and give it to the leader. It's basically what every single one of them is saying.
Yeah.
So, obviously, she is like one of these prophecies. She is the one who commands the sky. And because, you know, that every single Venin, they're just driven by power. That's the only thing they want. She commands the sky. So there's power from the ground and power from the sky. Yeah,
but her signet is pure power. That's what... She's not a lightning wielder. She's a power wielder. She's essentially channeling... She's channeling Tern's power directly. So that's what Felix tells her later. So, yeah, she can kill them, but they're also after more power. So they believe getting her, possibly.
Yes.
We taught her again about Brennan, talking a lot about Violet's dad, or their dad. Again, in a world of dragon riders, griffin flyers, and dark wielders, it's the scribes that have all the power. So did Daddy Sorrengail have any physical power? Is a question. I think this is a nod to the fact that Violet is powerful because she's not only a dragon rider, she's also got the mind of a scribe. So it's just another nod to the fact, like, how powerful she is. We're supposed to think he just means that the scribes have the power because they're redacting history, they're telling the story, they're painting the bad guys to be the bad guys when the good guys to be the bad guys. But actually, I think it's a bit more than that. I think it's a bit more subtle. Maybe there's a clue that Violet's dad somehow had some power, maybe to do with Andarna. Don't know.
There's still something about the Feathertail research they're still missing. Well, not missing. It's just there, sit down.
She knows exactly where it is.
Yes. So definitely that's going to tell you more stuff about what actually Daddy Sorrengail knew about Feathertails. Because he knew about Venin, wyverns, everything was going on outside their walls. It's the Feathertail, and specifically that one, there was Andarna. Because I don't know if he managed to find her, or maybe he was the one who was linked to Andarna and tell about her daughter or something. And it's something related.
There's a connection, isn't there?
Yes.
The other thing that I thought was weird was that Brennan said, or Violet said, that Daddy Sorrengail taught them both Tearish.
Yes.
Why? He only taught certain languages to... He taught languages to Violet because she was going to be a scribe. He taught her more. He didn't teach her Old Lucerish, I think. Wait. I get them all mixed up. There's loads. Is it Moranian she doesn't speak? Warwick is Old Lucerish? I don't know. We could be wrong. But why did he teach Brennan Tearish?
I think it's because he knew that all the people from Tearish, they had some stuff that can be helpful in war as well, or using the magic like the runes.
But could he have been Tearish? We don't know where he was from.
No.
He could have been Tearish.
True.
Yeah. And there's so much stuff. Are you finished with chapter 2 yet, or have you got any more?
There's one more thing is Brennan again. Once they finish the conversation and they're going to see the dragons, Sorrengail doesn't like Brennan.
Oh, she doesn't like him at all, does she? Neither does Tan.
She like strict him basically, and if Violet has to step in and like, hey, it's my brother, and Brennan like, well, yeah, she knows, but she doesn't care. Or she just doesn't like me. And again, we're like, why?
And he says she never has.
Yes.
So it's not just a 6 years thing.
Yes, and again, this is kind of like giving a little bit of force to this new theory that I'm building, because I'm building that somehow Brennan, he was kind of like a bad guy from the beginning. So maybe when Nally was in love with him and he bring him back to life, he has all the power. And I was thinking, okay, maybe Sorrengail doesn't like him because he nearly costed the life of
her mate. That was my natural thought.
As well. But then it's why there's no mention about Tern doesn't like Brennan.
Oh no, there is. Tern doesn't like Brennan either.
He doesn't like, but it's not like he wants to kill him or anything like that. And I don't think it's just because it's Violet's brother. Because to be honest, Tern, he doesn't even show that he likes Zaydan, even kind of tolerate him. So it's like he doesn't like anybody. But Brennan, there's no specific something like Sorrengail, like why she's treating. So it's like something that maybe she can feel or something that she can notice.
I think the most obvious explanation for it is that she knows that, regardless of whether Nilin died or became a god or became a Venin, the bond with Tern was broken. So that nearly killed Tern. That nearly killed her. I think she cares more about Tern, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So because in the Battle of Ressen, you get a bit where she has to go and protect Tern, and then she gets really cross with Violet because she's like, I'll protect Zaydan, you protect Tern. Yeah. So she can't, obviously, he's her mate. She cares a lot about Tern. So I think that the most obvious reason why she hates him is because his life, again in inverted commas, whether he's alive or not, cost Tern the bond with his rider.
I don't know, because obviously Brennan died. Nalin was the one who took the decision to bring him back to life and risk everything to bring him back to life.
Yeah, but still cost.
So is the thing if I maybe now say that he's turning into a Venin? Now, well, Cycle is going to be just crossed with Violet.
No, apparently she's really... Well, Rebecca Yarros says she's really pissed with Xaden.
Yeah, so exactly. They're doing exactly the same because they're turning into Venin too for love, basically.
Yeah, and she's like, I chose you. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was that the only other thing?
No, that's my takeaway from chapter 2.
Okay, so 1, Erasure has a ward stone. Why does it have a ward stone?
Mm-hmm.
Are there ward stones in the other provinces that we just don't know about?
Maybe it's because Arasia, it was the original hatching area for the dragons.
Well, no, only for the black dragons. The green ones were at Navarre.
Yeah, but because it was there, they want to protect the dragons, and they have one of them. I don't know if...
yeah, but then they didn't have another seventh dragon to light it.
Nobody knew the way to make it work.
Well, no, they knew at the time. They just didn't have a seventh dragon because Daramor sapped the life out of them all.
Yeah.
We find out Andarna is
colored and she's bigger.
She's bigger and she is not quite black. She's like very reflective, and Violet wonders if it's to do with the fact that it's got a bit more of a... she's still got a feather tails pigment. I couldn't get my words out then, sorry. So Andarna is not black. She can choose her colour. We find that out later, but you see it in action. Only the eldest of our dens can sense the hatchling's pigment. Coda knows she is not black. Yeah. Coda is the
oldest of the
black dragons.
Yes.
Only the eldest of our dens can sense the hatchling's pigment. So every single one of those dragons know that she is the leader of her own den. That's why they let her do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah.
They can't control her. Andarna is essentially part of the Empyrean.
Yes.
And that made me think, when they met to debate the double dragon situation, were they actually deciding if Tern's choice stayed? Because obviously Andarna's choice stays because she's the leader of her den.
I think the thing was the Tern born first, so they had to respect that he chose Violet first, and Violet somehow, he took it as a good. And then
they had to accept Andarna's. So there was no other choice.
Yeah. I think it wasn't against the rules. It's just that it's not really common because there has to be normally always one dragon, one rider. But I mean, why they would be opposite about it? Because then if the dragon, the rider dies, that means well, that's the question, isn't it? So no, the two dragons will die, isn't it? Because
depends how deep the bond is.
Yeah.
So that's why it's such a risk. So Kaori in that in the epigraph in 4th one, I can't remember which chapter it is, but it says there's no record of why the dragons only chose one rider, rather than increase their chances by bonding two. That naturally means Violet is flipped around the other way. It's not dragons bonding multiple riders, it's a rider bonding multiple dragons. Yeah. So that means that she's already increased her chances. So if Tern dies, but Andarna doesn't, she doesn't. Yeah. Unless those two dragons that you bond are mated, there's no reason why Andarna's death would kill Tern. It'd obviously be gutted, but so that means then it's more dangerous for the Empyrean for two dragons to be bonded to one rider, especially when you've got one dragon who is the only one of her kind. Because and Violet isn't. She is an incredibly strong rider, but she's not the picture of strength, is she? She's not like what you would describe as.
She's still human. She can die anytime.
Yeah, exactly.
Any reason.
And so you could then that could kill two dragons.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that Andarna is in the Empyrean, and when they were doing that, there was no chance that they were ever debating whether Andarna could bond. So the question wasn't whether they'd let a Feathertail bond. She's the oldest of her den. She makes that choice. Nobody can tell her what to do. But what they're doing is they're debating whether 2 dragons can bond 1 rider. And the result of that, if they decided they couldn't, that would be Tern's bond that was broken, not Andarna's.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. And then we find out that tails are a matter of choice and need. So that's an interesting one. And yeah, I think that's all. We find out that they're deciding to go home. Andarna didn't develop quite right.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, one more thing. It was like a bit of an offhanded comment, but it takes a whole day to get back to Basgiath.
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes a whole day to get back to Basgiath. Xaden can't be going there very often, can he?
No.
He can't be missing for that long. If it takes him a whole day to get there and a whole day to get back, he can't be going there often.
No, I think he just go to Orethia in really specific times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Okay, chapter 3. So, they're going back to Basgiath. They're shitting themselves. And because there was some stuff.
Wait a minute. We're not going to talk about the epigraph.
Oh, no. I didn't get
Stop
into
right
the
there.
epigraph. Okay, sorry.
It's not actually a very good one. But
Yeah, that's why.
I wondered why there is no moment as rewarding, as stirring, as anticlimactic as the Rider Quadrant graduation. It's the only time I've ever envied the infantry quadrant. Now those cadets know how to hold a ceremony.
Yeah, so basically they're going to have a shit party after graduation, the riders, and then that's it.
Well, he don't say anything, do you? He's like, well, there's no great words for graduation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's just congratulations. No.
Go and die.
Yeah.
You didn't die, now go and die.
You graduate, now you go and die.
Yeah, maybe it's graduate then die.
Then die. Yes, we change it now. Okay. So, there was a couple of things that I don't know how far I'm gonna be in this with your notes, but it's something that the first thing that caught my attention in this chapter. The Violet were talking with Xaden about, okay, you can't tell me that you had to keep more secrets about you had to tell me everything. And then Xaden were like, well, I told you they are going to tell you everything about me, but not everything. So it's just doing like this double distinction.
Yeah.
And then Violet just get really mad with this. Like, no, he's going to do it again.
Yeah,
like, just like changing the words. And yeah, basically Xaden saying that he will have secrets. And then she let her anger rush to the surface. And then she started thinking that Brennan lied to her, pretending that he was there. That her old friend, Dan, stole the memories. So he was lying to her as well. Then her mother as well. There was a lot of things that she doesn't tell to Violet, or she's just telling lies. Her education as well. Everything is a lie. So everything, there's like a secret or a lie. She just get really mad about it because she says she demands total and complete honesty from him. And it's been written twice in this pretty much page. And I was thinking, okay, this looks like really like the core of Violet. When you're talking about like lying, she needs the truth.
Yeah.
And for me, like, okay, this could be maybe clues for the second segment, because this is pretty much really clear.
Yeah.
The truth is important for her, like really important.
Violet is a truth
more than
sayer.
information.
Violet is a truth sayer.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I can't even remember now what my top running theory was. Oh, I thought precognition. I thought because Jack said ages and ages ago, he said, I'm not the one that thinks precognition is a thing. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of thought, well, that's being thrown in there. But yeah, for ages I thought that. And then I saw a reel by Bookish Kinsey, who is absolutely great on Instagram. Yeah. And she goes into some of the truth-sayer things. And now I am totally behind that theory. No other signet is Violet's signet. I will eat this microphone if she is not a truth-sayer. I'm not a truth-sayer, so am I telling the truth?
The microphone on this one.
The microphone. So many things. Xaden has known about Brennan since his death. You didn't dodge the question. Is that because he couldn't dodge the question? The big question is, when does Violet start to manifest that signet? Is it when Andarna wakes up from her dreamless sleep? Either way, we're seeing the core of Violet. She needs information and she needs the truth.
Yes.
And
well, to be honest, more than she needs information, she needs the truth. Because sample number one, that she doesn't care that much about information. That is Sorrengail Feathertail research.
Yeah,
That's all
but she does later say, I am a person who needs information.
No, she needs the truth. Like something that completely changed her mood. Yeah. If somebody's lying to her, or there's a secret that she thinks they should be.
Well, later in the book, power surges within her when she hears Markham lying. Another one, so there's evidence of it throughout the whole book, but another one, they're jumping out at me now. Another one in this particular chapter, she says, if the last few weeks have shown you anything, it should be that I don't run from truth, no matter how hard it is or at what cost. Obviously, there's more evidence throughout the book, including the epigraph, which says there is only one signet more powerful than an intrinsic, and that's a truth sayer. And yet we let them live.
Yes.
They're talking about, is her name Nora? Like, she's so unforgettable. She's so forgettable that I can't remember her name. Is it Nora?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, Varish's right-hand woman. Yeah. She's a truth-sayer, but I don't know if she actually is a truth-sayer. Violet calls her a truth-sayer, but she's more like a lie detector.
Yeah, I was about to say that, because as far as I know, a truth-sayer, you can't lie to a truth-sayer.
Yeah.
So it's, maybe you want to, but you just have to tell the truth. But in that scene is more, she can detect if she's lying or not. So Violet can say anything.
Bodily fluid thing, like you're sweating or you're twitching or something. I don't know. It's like some weird bodily response thing.
Yeah.
But Violet does call her a truth-sayer. So and Violet does know about signets. So that's the weird one for me. But maybe Xaden does kind of suspect it, because he answers every question, and he told her that to ask the right questions. Is that because he knows he can't lie? But I do tend to think that she's not channeling right now. She's not manifesting signet.
This is more about her core.
Yeah.
Because, when she was trying to find out what was Xaden's second signet, she started to basically go to these questions. Why is important for you? Why is like the thing that you need to know?
Yeah.
But in this case, you see later on when they finally go to the ceremony, and she starts to hear Xaden lying. That's one thing that, like, I don't know how he can lie just like nothing else. So even for her, it's difficult to lie, because she demands the truth. And then when she had to tell the truth, she does. But obviously, like Xaden said, just select the truth. So that's the only way that she can lie, just selecting truth, because in her core, she can't lie.
Yeah.
And she needs the truth.
She does lie a few times. Like, she lies to Jacinia to say that she's doing she's doing a debate.
Yeah,
for a debate.
But I think maybe when it's something like what we call like white lies, there's something that nobody will get hurt and nobody will care. But,
yeah. I like this one. I think this is the number one theory for me, because it also, Rebecca Yarros says that people will be underwhelmed by it. And we've already met another truth-sayer.
Yeah.
Although we can't perfectly remember her name. it's not that, and we're underwhelmed by her skills. But I think Violet is potentially a type of truthsayer, just like Xaden's a type of intrinsic, where you can do different levels of that particular power. And I think that it has something to do with the fact that we've already met a truthsayer and she's quite underwhelming.
Yeah. I definitely don't think that she would be like intensing or something similar to Xaden, because something that, like I said, it's like really important for her is true modern information.
Yeah, I just think if she's another intrinsic, it's just a bit boring. I know there's a good theory about the fact that she's an intrinsic because of the throne scene later on, and it's like she reads his mind. I actually don't think so. I think she's just making him tell her the truth through the bond. Yeah. And that might be it manifesting. But she might be another intrinsic. I'll be a bit disappointed if she is, because it's like Xaden's an intrinsic. It was really cool, a really good twist that he was intrinsic. Yeah. I just don't think it's a very good twist if she's also an intrinsic, is it?
Maybe that's the clue from Rebecca Yarros. It would be underwhelming if I find out that she's an
intrinsic. Yeah, maybe. I will be like totally bummed if she is. I'll be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, we do get more clues throughout the rest of the book, so we'll keep an eye on it. But that is I've just finished reading it again, and I can't see another signet as good as that. This is
just chapter 3, so we still have a few to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, do you have something else to say?
Yeah, so much, obviously, as usual.
I had just one more thing to say, but I'll let you go first.
I just want to say this one because it builds on the truthsayer thing. Ten is also being truthful with her now. That Andarna has woken up. I still think, obviously, as we've talked about, he's hiding a lot of stuff about Nilin. But he tells her, we get another bit of an info dump on the first 6 riders. The first 6 riders were desperate to save their people when they approached the dens over 600 years ago. So, did they all approach a separate den? So, I'm going to forget these now because I can't remember who's from where, but did Warwick, let's say Warwick was from Lucera. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. But did he go to his den and approach one? Did Lyra go to her den? Moranian. If she's Moranian. I don't remember.
I think kind of makes sense that each one of the region where it belongs go to their respective den.
The den.
Yeah.
Those dragons formed the first Empyrean and bonded humans only to protect their hatching grounds from Venin. So they were going to protect their own hatching grounds.
Yes.
And the thing that triggered that, we believe now, is that Andarna's hatching ground was
destroyed.
But only one dragon. There must have been a dragon left because they produced the wards later.
Yeah.
Venin, who were the bigger threat. We don't exactly have opposable thumbs for weaving wards or runes. Neither species has been entirely truthful, both using the other for their own reasons, nothing more. So I don't know whether they were trying to protect each of the hatching grounds, which is potentially why they all have a ward stone. That's why Tyrrendor has a ward stone.
Yes.
But then it got so bad that they were like, no, we can only do one because we've only got one purple dragon. Is she purple? We've got one of the 7th den dragons, so we have to choose one, and they all went to there. That must be the reason why they...
Yeah, I think just because the dragons don't live that much anyway, because Tern is a middle-aged dragon. I think he's 100 years old, which means that by 200 years old, a dragon will be really old or probably will die. So if most of the 7th breed, they were destroyed, whatever it was surviving, didn't have that much time left. So they had much time to recreate the whole thing. And then the best thing, or the easy thing to do, was bring everyone inside the walls and then just protect as much as they can because it was the only one.
I think there's only one dragon left, and it was Andarna's mum. She did the wards, then she laid the egg, and then she died, and because there was no mates.
Mm-hmm.
So when she finally died,
that's it. It was condemned to the end of the species. The breed,
yeah. Also, so in this conversation, Tern makes reference to Malik. He says they're talking about, I think Andarna's being like a typical teenager and fighting back.
Yeah.
And Tern's saying, you're not doing rolling dismounts. They'll tear you limb from limb. And Andarna's like, I'll take you. I don't mind. And then Tern says, work on your own flight maneuvers before taking our bonded on a flight to meet Malik. He mentions Malik.
Yeah.
But previously he said, dragons pay no heed to your puny gods. So I thought it was weird.
I don't know, maybe it was just like a joke that Tern was doing to Violet to understand. Because I believe this goes to everyone, not just directly to Andarna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so they arrive back. That was just the bit that I wanted to talk about. They arrive back on Dane. I love Xaden's thing where it's like, honestly, I've just been considering scrapping the plan and throwing him off the parapet. Violet's 99% she doesn't trust him. 1% questioning whether he knew what was waiting for them at Athbine.
Yeah.
She was actually right, though. We later find out that he didn't know. And I do tend to believe that he didn't know. I think he told his dad because he thought he was doing the right thing.
I mean, if you honestly, you put like the shoes and Dane's shoes, he was fair, but there's Xaden is the son of Fenrir and the betrayed.
We already talked about it. We think he.
So I think he thought he was doing the right thing. That maybe he was something like weapons, something to the flyers just to make them stronger or whatever, to create a revolution. So he was just trying to help, and then Arethia was like, no, Athbine, was the word that he heard and said to the colonel. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kid walks past in Second Wing, says that Second Wing won War Games. Snooze. He has forest green hair. Forest green is my favourite colour. If you look around our room, it's pretty much forest green everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't imagine someone with forest green hair. Maybe I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it like a dip dye, a forest green dip dye.
Looking bold with the background.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'll have red hair at the top and then green at the bottom. Cool. Let's talk about the plan, because we hear a bit about it. The first part of the plan, the rest of it's covered in the next chapter. Go to Liam's room and get his letters.
Yes.
For Sloane. They come back later and they help Violet out. Come back to the courtyard. Arrive in time to throw a spanner in the death roll. Yeah. Well, this is awkward. That's the bit. Then we'll cover the rest of the plan in the next chapter. But Rhiannon helps by taking the letters and not asking any questions, which is similar to what she does later when she takes the dagger. She managed to retrieve the dagger through the wall. Yeah. And it just shows what a great friend Rhiannon is. She doesn't ask questions. She just does what...
She's unconditional to her.
She knows, and she just really cares about Violet. Obviously, things get a little bit strained later on when she's not able to get the answers she wants from Violet or the trust. Yeah. Then we get a bit of a argument again. I mean, they're going to argue through the whole book, Xaden and Violet. But he said, for the record, I don't lie to the people I care about, and I sure as hell never lied to you. But the art of telling selective truths is something you're going to have to master, or we'll all be dead. And I think, there's been a few times that you could look back in Fourth Wing and think, that's a selective truth. That's a selective truth. So, yes. And I did that while we were doing the read of Fourth Wing, and obviously I was doing a reread, but I couldn't talk about it because you didn't know. Yeah. We get one more clue about Xaden's second signet. He says, I think you'll find I'm harder to block than most. I think we meet that what that actually means is that he's got a bonded link to her, but Actually, it's also another nod to the fact that he's got an intrinsic ability. He can break into people's minds.
Yes.
And also she says something like, I hope you're right about this. And he takes a look at the leadership on the dais and he says, I'm right. Because he reads their intentions and he knows.
That's in my notes. That's actually my last note.
Sorry.
But, I was wondering, like, what is the distance that he need to be to actually read the intentions? Has to be, like, in front? Or can go really, like, as long as the sign can go? So if I can see clearly the face, regardless of the distance, can he read the intentions? Or it's like a limitation about it?
Oh, sorry. I think so.
Because, it was... Gary said, like, I really fucking hope that you are right about this. And says, I'm right. So, like, he was 100% sure that, like, he knows what he's talking about it. And I think it was because of this. But I was wondering, what are the limitations about, like, distance? We'll see if later on we will find out about it. But, that was my last one for chapter 3.
Same.
Chapter 4 then.
Yeah. I just love the end, though. Well, this is awkward. That's the only...
Yes. Okay, so chapter 4, I had a little bit of the epigraph as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in this epigraph, they're just talking about a dreamless sleep. The duration varies from breed to breed. And for me, this was like, okay, now this is like the first time that Andarna was completely a different breed. Because she was sleeping for ages and they said they never seen something like this before. It was like, okay, now it's obvious that there was something different about her. And it wasn't just because she was interrupted a couple of times. Yeah, it was just because she's different, so she needs more sleep.
Yeah, I had exactly the same. That was the only thing I wanted to say about the epigraph.
Yeah. Okay. So, for me, straight away, they had to explain how they survive. And Coronator was all the time like refusing what they were saying, was basically saying that no, they were lying. But say that managed to show to General Sorrengail the Coronators for the big time. And it's just the letter that he gave her, then Violet talking about it as well. And it's like another thing that Mami Sorrengail, she is a good person, or she knows what she's doing and she's trying to help Violet, because when she sees Violet, even Violet say that, I see they're a little bit proud. She's not shocked, she's not angry. She's kind of like happy that she's alive. And then Violet said just in a heartbeat, that is gone, but I know she didn't know about it.
Yeah. Right. Who should we talk about first? Colonel Atos or Lilith Sorrengail?
Let's go for Colonel Atos first, because it's the first one they start to basically say that Satan is lying.
Yeah, and he lies so easily, and Violet calls that out. She knows he's lying because of all of that situation, but it triggers her.
Yes.
So another truth-saying hint.
Yes.
He's been lying for a long time, has he? How long has he been lying for? How does Lilith trust him? Does she not? Is it a case of keep your friends close but your enemies closer? And she's done, like, at that point, she knows that he's a danger to her daughter, so he gets rid of her, rid of him. She gets rid of him. I'm getting mixed up, sorry. He is totally in with the Venin, isn't he? I don't think he is a Venin. I'm erring to the side where he's not a Venin, but he does, like, I think he's pretty pally with Venin, and I do think Varys is Venin. But yeah, we don't know anything about Dane's mom.
No, there's another woman, there's a mystery at this point.
Yeah, where's Dane's mom?
I don't know. We have to wait for the other books because literally there's no information.
Should I ask Rebecca Yarros? I'm going to have to do a poll. Should I ask Rebecca Yarros where Dane's mum is, or she's just going to be like, Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
The question I want to ask her is what...
Dane? Who's Dane?
what rank was...
she was a rider?
The question I want to ask is what rank Daddy Sorrengail was. Desperate. I'm sure he features in one of the epigraphs. I just want to know what rank he is.
Yes.
Anyway, the Navarian Venin lures are suspicious. And he obviously had those planted, didn't he?
Yes.
But the conversation when Lilith has disappeared gets really, really juicy. Xaden tries to goad him into saying that he knows more about what's out there. And, like, surely if you knew what was out there, you would say something or something like that. And Xaden's, like, really pushing him. And then he says, you gambled and you lost. Then he goads him further by telling him to send a missive to General Melgren to let him know that they knew he tried to hide it from him. So basically he let Xaden have as many marked ones on purpose so that Melgren wouldn't see the outcome of the battle. And Xaden, like, pushes him, being like, well, surely you can just send a missive to Melgren and he'll have seen the outcome of the battle. But Atos knows that and he can't say, because that's classified as well. That's just brilliant.
Yes, that's like one of my other notes in this chapter. In this chapter, Satan basically had to argument with the two Atos, first with the Coroner and later on with Dane. And he knew exactly what he had to say, how to finish the conversation, how to crush them. And it's like, again, it's because he can read the intention, so he can be like one step ahead.
Yeah.
Because like what they want to think.
When they've not got their shields up.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Colonel Atos' signet is, do we?
No, there's another thing that we don't know. At least, I don't remember at all, because after this, he just disappears.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's going to be like one of Barris's cronies in one of the castles. She's going to have to defeat him before she defeats General Daramor.
Well, I think the only thing that he's back later on is just to tell them the secrets are with the people who keep the secrets. But he doesn't do anything else apart of that. Apart of trying to kill the
he's
character.
busy. He's doing something at a coastal outpost. Like, he's busy doing something, I am sure.
Yeah.
But just the fact, like it says, the lie rolls off his tongue as smoothly as the truth, which is both impressive and infuriating because he doesn't have a single fucking tell.
Yeah.
And I think she's not going to need to have tells later because she's going to be able to sense it.
Yes. And what about Mommy Sorrengail with Violet? When they were talking, when I think she was amazed with the story that Violet told, that in your first year you were to combat, you get stabbed, you get poisoned.
Yeah, so I've got so much I want to say on this.
Yes.
The first bit is that she clearly doesn't know what Atos has planned. She's so pissed off that she sends him to a coastal outpost. Then there's some things where she shows pride in her face, but only for a split second. But Violet has never said anything like that about her mum. Like, she's always like stone cold, just like ice in her veins, just no emotion at all. But then it says there's no anger in her eyes, no fear or shock either, just relief. It feels like she's changed since the last book.
Yeah.
Either because Rebecca Yarros didn't really know where her character was going, which I don't think is the case because, like we say, nothing happens for a reason.
Yeah, she's a good writer, and this is not like the first book that she writes.
No, so, she knows she's like a genius in character development and pushing you down one way. I don't want to spoil any of her other books, but the twists are all character based.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but the best ones are.
The trend, yes.
Yeah. Or Violet, because this is the first time that Violet's been outside of the wards. And I think Lilith, after this conversation, so she didn't know that Violet was lying. or she believed her that they'd been attacked by griffins. But after this conversation, I am certain that Lilith Sorrengail knows that Violet came against Venin. Because, so this is the first time Violet's been outside the wards, and I would like to think that the reason she's changed is because of that. Because she is now worried. She's been unsafe in the Riders Quadrant, but she's had Xaden, and obviously Xaden was with her, but she's had Xaden protecting her because of Lilith's deal with him.
Yeah.
And then essentially she's got all the... as a rider, she's safest at Basgiath. Yes, she's got loads of cadets after her, but Lilith believes that Violet is strong enough to deal with that.
Yes.
What she doesn't know is whether she's strong enough to survive outside the wards. And you just would worry about your child, wouldn't you? Well, we would.
I remember there's a part when Xaden was saying they would attack. They were like an ambush with flyers. And they lost Lian and Soleil. And nearly they lost Violet. There's a part when she is the one that gets shocked. And then Violet said, I don't see General. And General anymore, I see Mom.
Yeah, the General pivots and for a second looks down at me like she's not just my commanding officer, with worry and a touch of horror in her eyes. She looks at me like she's just Mum.
Yeah.
That is another reason why you think she's changed. She's never looked at her like that. She's, but the thing that gets me is her reaction to Violet saying she was stabbed by a poison-tipped blade. Mum's eyes flare and she jerks her gaze away. That's the part where I think she suspects Venin at that point. There is not a world where General Sorrengail does not know what's going on outside the wards. She knows that the Venin are attacking. Yes. She knows probably an awful lot of classified information from the Griffin's perspective about flyers. She probably knows that flyers don't use poison-tipped blades. Maybe they do. I don't think they do. But Lilith, I suspect there's something going on there with Lilith. So she knows about how the Venin have poison-tipped blades. Was that because she was stabbed by a poison-tipped blade? Possibly when Violet was when she was pregnant with Violet, and that is what
she has silver hair.
Yeah. So that's possibly what also caused Violet's kind of draining of energy. I don't know. But I believe, and then she says, you survived a knife wound after being thrown into combat as a first year. Maybe you're more like me than I gave you credit for. So she's obviously survived a She's obviously survived a knife wound after being thrown into combat as either an inexperienced or vulnerable flyer. Yes. And you would class a pregnant woman as a vulnerable flyer because you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting your baby. So I think after this conversation, she knows that Violet's come up against Venin.
Yeah.
I think she's probably also thinking now, right, time is up because this is the true test of my daughter. Does she keep the secret or does she join the revelation?
Yes.
So I think Lilith knows what's going on exactly at this point.
Yeah, I think maybe we know that Lilith, she cares about Violet. She's not like been trying to kill her. That was actually the reason that she put her as a rider, as a scribe, because next to Marhan, it was just a matter of time the Violet, because she was so clever, she was start to figure out, or maybe Marhan trusts her that she will keep the secret, he will tell the whole thing.
And Lilith was like, no, she's not going to, she needs to be a rider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as a rider, she had more chance to survive, plus she will have sickness, she had a dragon, so she had like something to defend herself, and they would teach her how to defend herself because that's one of her jobs. So I think yes, she believes that Violet can do it because she can see that she had the best of the two worlds, scribe now as a rider.
But do you think she was trying to protect her from turning Venin? because Violet has such a strong need to help people, that she might have done the same thing as we suspect Neil and Daramor did, but she was trying to protect her from channeling from the ground, so she essentially gave her the chance to get a dragon to channel from the sky.
Something that is not clear for me is, can anybody learn how to chant directly from the ground, or only riders can do it because one had that bond with the
No,
the
it's
dragon?
anyone. Did you not read the bit later on where it says that they have started recruiting failed griffin flyers?
Yeah, the flyers.
Yeah. For the people that don't, basically the people that jump off the cliff
And they
and
just
don't they've started recruiting them, which is, I'm not going to share that theory now, but I've got a theory about why they why Basgiath is a death factory. Right, so there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. Liam's dragon carvings, they are 100% runes.
Yes.
So she holds the carving and it gives her the strength to hold it together and carry on. I think we're supposed to think that's Violet, like clutching it and remembering Liam and remembering just how much she lost in that battle. But actually, I think she holds it. We know that his mum was exceptional at runes and she produced these protection runes. I think Liam has given her a rune that essentially gives her the strength to carry on, or just the push she needs.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a hint to that when she's being tortured and Liam is the push to get her through it.
Yeah.
I just think that those dragon carvings, there's more to them than
Just decoration.
Yeah, than decoration.
Yeah.
Dane, it's all just a bit embarrassing for Dane, isn't it? Like, touch me and I swear to God I'll cut your fucking hands off and let the quadrant sort you out in the next round of challenges. And Xaden's like, violence indeed. But then Xaden just makes a bit of a show of him, and
the whole to humiliate him even more.
It's just embarrassing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ugh, cringe. And then I think it's interesting that it probably mirrors the fight that Mum and Dad, so Mummy Sorrengail and Daddy Atos, are about to have in the office.
Yeah.
Dane's having a pretty rubbish time. I mean, we don't forgive him.
Oh yeah, he was basically the cause of Liam's death.
I know we can never forgive him, but we can understand that he thought he was doing the right thing. I genuinely do think that, especially with the arc that he goes through on this.
Yeah.
But I don't forgive him. I will never forgive him, but I do understand.
Yeah.
Potentially. Why is graduation so shit?
I don't know. It should be all the opposite, because all the riders, they never know what's going to happen the day of tomorrow. So why not just have a big, good celebration and then just,
also just be like, well done. Do some award. Like, give some patches out on who was the best on the mat, who was best at, like give some, they like to celebrate people's success through patches. So why do they not celebrate on graduation? There's some weird reason.
Yeah, I mean, Liam, he was the best that year. And Xaden said, he's the best. You will be really pleased to have it and on those games and that kind of stuff. What's the point to have like a cadet is the best if you don't give it like a recognition or something? This year
he didn't make it he didn't make it to graduation, I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, why not have a bit of an award ceremony? And yeah, just don't know why it's so crap. And I just really like the way that this ends. I like it, but I don't like it. So the chapter ends. I'm grabbed into a hug by Riddick, then Sawyer, then Rhiannon, and even Nadine. We made it. We're officially second years. Out of the 11 first years who came through our squad during the year, both before and after threshing, the 5 of us are the only ones left standing. fine if it just ends there.
For now.
Obviously, we'd know that.
Yeah, that doesn't know if it's Violet while I'm talking or Rebecca Yarros talking.
Yeah, but we know
for
that
now.
one of those names listed doesn't even make it through the next batch of chapters. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but if Riddick, Sawyer, or Rhiannon dies, I'm gonna lose it.
I mean, Riddock, there was a time when I thought like, oh, it is not looking
That will
bad.
come. That will come
Yeah,
later.
it will come.
So we're just gonna leave today's podcast on the question: who else is going to die?
Who's next?
Well, we know who's next. It's Nadine. But who else is going to die?
Yeah, I mean, for the character that we love and we will get hurt if they die.
I mean, you're not sad about Nadine.
I mean,
Anyway, that's for next time.
Yeah.
If you made it this far, we want to say a massive thank you for listening and for supporting Faithfully Fantasy, the husband and wife podcast talking all things Empyrean.
don't forget to follow us on our social media. Remember, it's @FaithfullyFantasyPod, where you can find a lot of fun stuff, new theories, and all about us.
Join us next week as we cover chapters 5 to 9.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's correct.
another 4 chapters of Iron Flame, and we will hit you with more theories, more deep dives, more character dissections, and yeah, we hope to see you next week.
We hope you enjoy it.
Burn it down.
What does it mean?